Okay, yeah. How did you get to where you are?
Very open-ended question, which allows me to go any direction, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how did I get to where I'm going? Um, in general, I just love to learn, and throughout my life, I've learned all kinds of stuff, including computers at a really young age, right?
Hmm.
So I always had that. In today's world, you just got to know it. So um, one thing led to another. An opportunity came up that a friend of mine said, "Hey, work with us." And I said, "All right, let's work with Boston Baskin." And then the previous director, he left, and the work expanded, and I just expanded with it. So that's kind of the brief on that.
Yeah. What inspired you?
I'm always inspired by being able to deliver something that is meaningful, of quality, and specifically with this, it has to do with patient outcomes. So if it helps the patients live better when they have their visit to the practice, that's what I always keep in the back of my mind as to what I need to accomplish. So that inspires me. The patients themselves inspire too, because if you've ever seen any of them, you'll wonder, like, well, you would think that they would be really um, kind of hit with something hard, but they are very, very positive,
Hmm.
and they have to be. And so you look at that and you say, if they can be in this situation with a diagnosis and maybe a very bad outcome and have a smile on their face and do what they do, then it's up to me to be right there with them, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah, that inspires me from an emotional perspective, but from the other, just of who I am and what inspires me in general, is just being able to deliver something nice and awesome. Quality of that is very important.
Cool.
So a lot of things don't fall into that. So I said it doesn't matter whatever you do that.
Yep. All right. So, what failures did you have to overcome?
All of them.
All of them.
All, you learn from everything, right? Whether
Hmm.
you personally think it's a success or a failure, um, that's just your own definition, right?
Yeah.
So the ability to respond to what presents itself to you. So something happens and you might say to yourself, there was a success and then not do anything, or you might say that was a failure. Now, that's your own definition, but I think you can learn from everything. Um, Failures would be, um, for me, thinking that medicine was a certain way and it wasn't. That's just not being informed about it, not having the experience. And I learned from that. But I've also learned in a way that it now makes me know what I need to do. I'm more focused, and I know what direction I would like to see things happen.
What do you love about your job now?
Every day is different. There are no manuals that say today step one is this, step two. It's not like that. It's very, very dynamic. So that's pretty exciting because if for me, when one day looks like another, I get bored. So I need that stimulation. I need that excitement. I need that learning process. Um, that's that's pretty awesome about this. Meet different people, um, and honestly, now at this point, there's no other real format. And like when you're much younger, when I was much younger, you just had to follow what the book said because the books were ahead of you. So you kept following and going up to that. Now the environment's a little bit different. It's new to everyone.
Yeah.
So you can't just turn to someone and say, well, you have to have something inside yourself that gives you that direction. That's probably some of what you talked about earlier or asked about, which is what inspires you. So if you
Yeah.
don't have that, then you don't know which way to go.
Exactly. What degree you graduated with in college, and
My
Even getting the degree,
hmm?
why did you pick this job?
All right. So technically, if you looked at my resume and said, "What's his education?" Um, it's a medical professional,
Yeah.
doctor, right? MD. So technically, that's what I am on paper. But upon arriving to the world of real medicine in the US, it fell short of what I wanted it to be. So I was left with the ethical, moral dilemma and said, all right, well, what else can I do? And then that made me introspect on what have I done in the past? What am I good at? And also, quite frankly, what are the opportunities right in front of you? You can't just be all in your head. You have to say what is real, you know?
Hmm.
So medicine has always been in some form in my life, right? So it's been research, clinical research. It's been teaching Kaplan students that are on a scholarship program, how to get through medicine themselves, the residency, so different aspects of medicine. So that's my going in degree is medicine, but before college, there's all this physics and learning. And I mean, I had a computer as a birthday gift when I want to say 12 or 13 years old. So it was a Commodore 64, a very basic type of machine, strictly for fun. No one ever had one. I had one. And it came with a book on how to program, and you don't even get that these days. You just get, here's your on-off switch. But this came with a book and said, this is how you program. And so I started to play with it. And that very early on gave me a basic understanding of how software works, how hardware works, and I became really good at it. It was a natural kind of fit. And then I got kind of bored of it because the whole technology moved ahead, but no one knew how to use it. So
Hmm.
there were computers, but you didn't find them around everywhere.
It's 4 o'clock.
Now people are catching up with this idea of, well, how do we use this thing?
Yeah.
So you got a computer in front of everyone in the hospital, in front of the patient, in front of the doctor, in front of the phlebotomist. And all of this information has to be kept secure. It has to be um, exchanged between all the people that use it. It's a tool,
Yeah.
right? So, so I'm just the person that kind of understands what the tool is, and I understand what the need is. That's why I'm where I am now and expanding with the business.
Okay.
If I looked at it as strictly I'm an IT professional, then I would probably be swamped by all the other people that are real IT guys that may know very specific things in the field.
Yeah.
You have someone that knows just about everything better than you. You can get on the phone, you can ask a question, someone else knows it better than you. But what I do is unique that way.